Recording in progress. Welcome to the Love in Action show with me, Alpa Soni, and the legend himself, Jason Q.
And me.
It's been some time since Jason and I have done a solo, and these 2 years, Jason, you have been phenomenal for the collective and everything that you do. But we have our history and our fun shows, the days with Mark Atwood and Charlie Freak, and all those shows were crazy. At one point, I'm not sure if you remember, we had 40,000 people on a live on one of our shows. But before we get into the nitty gritty, I just want to remind everyone to like and share. My YouTube is heavily shadow banned. And only when I have Jason on do people actually share. So, you know, Jason has that spark. But yeah, also don't forget to check out Good Lion, Nick's work. He's got some great stuff going on there. And of course, ARII. What a crazy month it is. It has been crazy energies, intense energies. And guess what? We've entered a Mercury retrograde today, and it's a full moon. Jason and I were just talking about the spiritual kind of energies that are going around, and the Queen is dead. So I'm looking forward to hearing what Jason has to say. Jason.
Yes.
How is it for you? What?
These
hide somewhere.
It's insane. I mean, it's like I've talked to some people. Like some people are like at the end of their rope. Some people are crying all day. It's like, you know, these retrogrades and all that with the moon. I mean, it's no joke, guys. These energies. I mean, you just hunker down, stay inside, out, grab a blanket, well, I mean, it's summertime, but I mean, yeah, I mean, just hunker down, you know, it's like, hey, it'll pass. And just think, I mean, you know, it's always the darkest before the dawn. So
tell me about it.
Now that you're, her is finally been disposed of. It's like, now I'm starting to see a lot of things happening, because now in England, essentially what that means is, aren't the banks closed next week?
This is
for morning.
So now, does that mean it could be the RV?
Now, here's the thing. Because what I'll do is I'm going to show you something that is like, it's going to totally blow your mind. Because it's like, what the hell is going on here? It's like, because when we were, I went to the bank, was it 2 days ago, right? And let me close this one.
You mean you need to screen share?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
And on Zoom, because you hate StreamYard.
Oh yeah, StreamYard doesn't let me show any photos. So Liz, our lobby will be temporarily closed. And this is my bank. Will be temporarily closed September 12th, which is Monday, through the 18th, which is Saturday, for renovations. So the drive-through is going to work, but I don't think the ATMs are going to work. Now the lobby, a new look is on the way just for you. It's like, doesn't anybody find it's weird that they would just like close a bank lobby for, I mean, a week? Why wouldn't you do that during COVID, right? I mean, that'd be the time to do it if you're going to do renovations. Or what renovations are going to do? Because you know what 2 letters in renovations that you're looking at? RV, right? It's like it's staring right at us. You know, it's like there's something up with this. Because the thing is, like, now
let's put it.
And that's the thing. It's like, that's why I wanted to check with other people and see, what their banking situation was. Like, if the drive-throughs work, that's one thing. But if their lobbies are closed, it's like they're doing all the switching of the money, because they're bringing in the rainbow currency and then they're getting rid of the greenbacks.
So you think that's why this is going to be a global shift that we're going to see? Because in the UK, yeah, there is a lot of speculations about the banks closing, and the Queen dead. It's a significant marker, if we reflect back to the last 2 years, that when the Queen dies, it's going to have hold a lot of significance, just like when Prince Andrew died. And there is something to do with the times and the dates as well.
So, Prince Philip, right? Or Prince Philip, or
Yeah,
Oh.
Prince Philip.
I thought you meant Prince Andrew. I'm like, he died too. It's like,
Well,
hey, a dead pedophile's a good. That's good by me. I mean, hell, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that. But there were two queens that died. The other one was the queen from Australia. And the funny thing is, they were both aged 96. Now, when they're talking about the 96 is like a 15 and all that, but it's like, I guess, it's in London. The Freemasonry address, the address for the Freemason Lodge is actually 96. It's like, what's going on here? It's like, why would they wait until now? So now you have 96, right? So 9 plus 6 is what? 15, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you take the 2022, right? If you just take the first two, right? And that's 17, 19, 21. There's your 777, right? Now, when you take the day that she died on 9/8, that's also a 17. And then you could take just a 2/2, like 9/8/22, and that gives you your 21. Or you can include the first two, and there's your 23 pain. It happened twice. And the thing is that what they called the what's the queen?
Should I stop screen sharing, by the way?
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But what they called her is the Red Queen. Now the thing is, remember, in Alice in Wonderland there was a Red Queen.
Yeah.
So when they said checkmate, when you take out two queens, remember, it's a chess move. It's a double knight move. It's that Wilkes-Barre, where he had the rally in Pennsylvania, where Trump had it last week. The Wilkes-Barre, it's actually a chess move. It's called a double knight move. What you did, so it's actually a two knight move, right? So what they did is that when you look at Prince Charles, you consider him a knight, right? Well, the other prince in Australia, there's your second knight. The two knight move. They took out the two queens because the queen is the most powerful piece on the chessboard.
Fake.
It's like, yeah. And now they're gone. So now it's like, now you have to have the whole mourning and everything like that, because everybody's like, and where did she die? It was in Balmoral. Balmoral. Baal, moral, right? Think about Baal and moral. It's like two separate words, Balmoral. But I guess it was over in Scotland, right? So they had to go like Operation Unicorn or something like that to bring her back, because the unicorn is actually in their coat of arms. Right. But if everything that we talk about it goes through the days, right? When we talk about like history, because everybody talks about gematria, guys. I cannot stress this enough with gematria. Okay, I'm not trying to be a dick to people that do gematria, because it's wrong. All gematria is wrong in the third dimension. It doesn't work. So now what you do is you go all by history. Now what we do is we type in September 8th, day in history, right? Now, this is where it gets really, really funny, because now September 8th, right? It's the 251st day of the year. How many days are left? 114, actionable, right? So what is today? Today is 113, start. So today's the start of it all. This is when they're kicking it all off.
This is what, today's the 10th, right?
Today's the 9th.
9th.
9/9/22, which is an 11/11.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
Right.
So now when we scroll down, you have to look at what happened in like different times in history. 1892, Pledge of Allegiance is first recited. But there's one specific, where's the bridge? There's a bridge. It's this, let's see. I know I highlighted it.
Are we anticipating, by the way, while you look for that, something to happen for the 11th? It marks a significant anniversary in 9/11. So
it's a 21st anniversary, which is another 777.
Right.
Remember, Donald Trump is the 777.
Right.
It's like they're doing all this by the numbers. There's no coincidence.
I've been seeing that number every day for the last 2 years. It's insane.
Isn't it? It's beautiful though. It's like it's the universe talking back to you saying, hey, you got this.
I got overtaken like in 2020, just something while he looks for that. When I was going to see this healer, a friend of mine recommended, and it was just so weird. It was on the 7th of February. And as I was driving, like Miss Daisy, I got overtook by 3 cars with 777.
Really?
3 times. Yeah. And this healer, she's beautiful. Her name's Louise. And she said to me, wow, like you're like on this 11/11 journey and you're here to like clear 22 lives. And I'm like, whoa, I'm born at that time as well, at 11/11. But 777 was because it's very significant globally. And I'm not surprised. And you probably start seeing it a lot. And it's also, it's means divinity, that God and your angels are with you. So, and I'm not surprised it's associated with Trump.
I think I gotta go through here. This is it. Let's see.
Yeah.
And it's the same day, right? Yeah, September 8th.
Yeah.
So where is it? It is and there's a 7 bridge because she dedicated it. Where are you? You coming up here shortly? Where are you?
Yeah, a lot of people in the UK who are not awake to just
how mourning and all that. Yeah,
horrific the royal family are.
1966. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Right here, the Severn Bridge, right? The Severn Bridge between England and Wales is officially opened by Queen Elizabeth II, right? Now, the Severn, it's like sever. It's also 7, right? Like a 7. But look at the date, 1966, right? Everybody's looking for that 99 for that 666, right? 1966, if you take the 66, right? That's the year. And then you take 2022, which is another 6. There's your 666. And your 98 just told us the 17. They got it. They've got it all. They're not messing around. But also, 1966 is also a 22 and 11/11.
Right.
And it's a bridge.
Right.
And it's like W-E. We. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, this is so much stuff has happened on the 8th of September that it's like, guys, everybody thinks that it's all because I've seen so many people post 9999. It's gonna be 99 that they declared everything. And I've even had close friends saying, oh, they're gonna declare it tomorrow. It's like, they're gonna declare it today. And it was yesterday. It's like, yeah, they're gonna do it today. I'm like, nah, it's like, yeah. And they said 6 is a dangerous time. What time did they say it? It's like 6:30.
Right.
It's like, why would they go to 6:30? It's like, there's your testicle, 36. What's 6 plus 3 is 9. 6, 3, 6, 9.
Right.
Everything is all by numbers because you can't trust anything with words because words have double meanings, double entendres. You can't, it's like wood and wood. Are you talking about wood as in like wood and like a baseboard or like a door? Or are you talking about wood, like, would you do this?
Right.
See, and that's why number 5 is always going to be 5. That's it. It's not going to change. It's not going to be like, well, like in Common Core, well, 8 plus 4 is 47 because you never know what kind of day the 4 is going to have. So it might be on a multiplier. It's like, what is this Common Core? No. It's math. That's why they say it's mathematically impossible to be a coincidence. You have to use math. Now, when they said A equals 1, B equals 2, people automatically thought it was gematria. But no, all they did was they said every letter has a numeral designation. That's it. Because if you think about it, when people are like, oh, it's, like 115 means Jesus is Lord. It's like, but 115 there's so many sentences you could do with 115 as a base number. Where does it end? It's like with saying something's good. It's like there's always going to be a bad. So what's the bad about it? They don't tell you that. So they don't tell us that. And also, what we're going to do here is we're going to do something special because you're so awesome. And
yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how things unravel now. Now that the Queen has nodded off. I mean, we know that she'd gone a long time ago. I mean, I think the Queen had about 12 body doubles anyway, or clones.
Yep.
And she'd gone a long time ago, but this is just the camaraderie, isn't it, of what we're watching?
Well, I think what it was when they took her out was on July 13th of 2018.
Right.
Because what happened is that, remember when he said, you know, he made her a caddy, but remember they started doing all the changing, how they were standing?
Yeah.
There was one thing that was funny about it that a lot of people didn't pick up. It was, you know, how they say like the 13 is superstitious. It was a Friday the 13th in July, but when you add 4, like our delta is 4, add 4 to 7, right? You get an 11.
11.
Right? Now, the thing is that it was the 711th anniversary for them burning the Knights Templar at the stake that year.
Day Trump visited. Right.
Yes. Yes. So it's like they do everything by the years, by numbers, everything's throughout history. That's why we had to dig. When they say dig, it's like, what do archaeologists do? They dig. You have to dig through time.
Right.
That's why they have 5-5. It's like you have to find the time. You just can't say, oh, well, that's it. But so right here, it says like the gematria is still widely used in Jewish culture and all this. It's like, guys, you cannot trust this stuff at all. Because they say like don't use your money in multiple 18 are very popular. Why is multiples of 18 popular? What's 18 divided by 3? It's a 666. It's exactly what it is. Now, right here, a single word can yield several values depending on the cipher which is used. So if you don't know what cipher these people are using, you don't know the value of what you're saying. You know, like they say, you know, watch what you say because your words make manifest. You always have to watch that. And it says like all this stuff like Israel using Jewish texts, notably those associated with the Kabbalah. So you have gematria associated with the Kabbalah. Well, the Kabbalah would be the Kabbalah, right?
Oh, Kabbalah.
And you look at the numbers, right?
Right.
Like they have like 700, the nun, right? Now, here's a nun right here, which is 50, right? Now, why they use the brackets? The brackets, because you have a nun and an inverted nun. That's your 5-5 right there. Because a 0 has no value. So 5-5 is a nun and inverted nun. There's your brackets. Anything within the bracket, that is, hold on a second. I have it right here. 1 second. What they do, I hear it.
While you get that, I was just reflecting back to the time when Trump was at Buckingham Palace and how he was walking in front of the Queen. That was legendary.
Oh, yeah, it was epic.
It was hilarious. And then how because it was just signified that he's in charge, right? No one walks in front of the Queen. You can't do that.
And the funny thing is about that is that he actually runs the whole world. Because remember, he had the sword dance at Saudi Arabia. Here, let me go and stop share. He had the Saudi Arabia sword dance.
Yeah.
We also have pictures of him walking in front of Xi Jinping in China. Yeah. Then he had the red carpet in Japan with Shinzo Abe. It's like, did they kill him or did they put him in protection?
Yeah.
Because remember, like this whole BRICS, like they're doing just Sarah first.
Yeah.
That's what Russia and everybody else is doing first.
Right.
Because they're taking it to the cabal first and they're taking it to the Illuminati and all that. And the deep state, everything, the devil simulation, getting it out of here. Because Vladimir Putin is so huge in this that people don't understand that in the year 980 AD, Prince Vladimir the Great established Christianity in Kievan Rus, which is Moscow, which is Russia. That's Mother Russia. So that was year 980. 9 plus 8 is 17. But also what he did is that you had the Khazarian mafia, well, the Khazarians, the Ashkenazis, and the Scythian barbarians, and they were actually eating people from the Silk Road, going from China to Europe. So Prince Vladimir the Great had to come in and say, hey, you guys need to pick one of these three religions and have all your people follow it: Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. They took Judaism because they could blend their Babylonian secret Satanism in right with it. And that's what they did. And ever since then, it's been the Ashkenazis that have been screwing everything up. And now we talk about infiltration over invasion. Who do they infiltrate? They infiltrated the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, it's over 80% of every facet of our being in the United States are run by Ashkenazi Jews. And we have the documentation to prove it. And it's sick, but it's like, and people are like, Jay, you're too hard on Jews. Like, no, we're not. Because the thing is, like, they want to kill us all.
It is worldwide, even in Africa.
It's a religion. That's all it is.
They run the show.
Yeah, everywhere. And we can't have it because they feel that they are God's chosen people. Well, who's their God though? Their God is Satan. They worship Satan. It's not our God. Hey, fuck, we don't want part of that. But where are we? We're in hell. We want to go home, and we are going home. That's it. Slaves no more.
It's just so sad, this distortion about all the religions, and there's innocent people that really do not understand that who they're actually praying to. And when you mentioned something about like any kind of religious fraternity, people will assume that you're being blasphemous and derogatory, and they don't want to face hard facts about the history and how deep this rabbit hole goes. This is a lot of engineered psyops that the collective have gone through without realizing it. And it's like the Stockholm syndrome, where people actually start feeling very sorry for their abuser. So this is these paradigms, this narcissistic empath kind of like layers that we've got to this spiritual war. As you know, it's a spiritual just as much as it's a psychological, just as much as it's an information war. And we're here really trying to speculate and find out and decipher, what's going on with your mind though, and how genius it works in the intricacies and the details that just like blow us all away. I wanted to talk about what, like the Gematria subject. It is so deep, and everything is connected through maths and the whole kind of the spiritual lens, but people don't consciously realize that and can put it together the way you do. And dates are important.
And the thing is, because it's all of us. I mean, because I've learned from you, I've learned from everyone. We've all learned from one another, from Mark, I mean, from Nick, I mean, especially Nick. Oh my God, his videos. And wouldn't you know it, it's like right when he put out that Oprah one, that's when everything went. I'm like, just finished watching. I'm like,
yeah, you see that? That was brilliant. The Oprah.
Oh, it was. I'm like, what's part two? It's like,
I know there's this, but by the way, everyone, Nick is making a part two. There's a lot of stuff that he's working on at the moment. So he's actually filming in Oklahoma, but he'll be doing more sort of things on the road. And yeah, of course, may see you on the Truth Tour as well. We're going to talk about that in a while as well.
Oh yeah. And
going back to the Queen.
and also, because now that you had the Queen and the Prince, because the thing is that Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip were first cousins. It's like, that's kind of disturbing. We actually have the family tree, and they're both on it. Because they're both from the Queen Victoria with King Albert, or Prince Albert McCann. Prince Albert McCann. It's like, why would you have a queen and not a king? Where's the king? When you have a king, it's like it goes to a queen to a prince, and it's like, that's weird. Especially from him being like, from Mountbatten and all that, but he's from Greece.
Mountbatten.
Mountbatten. And also the Windsor family are Jews, because they're the Windsor Jews. And we actually have a book on that somewhere around here. Because I've been getting ready for tomorrow night, when we are taking on 9/11. Myself and Ethan are going to take on 9/11. We start at 8 o'clock Central,
Right.
Screw Big Dub on Rumble. And they pretty much gave us the green light to say, all right. Lewis like, I'll probably go like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's like,
Wow.
yeah,
So you're having a marathon tomorrow with Lewis.
Yeah. So we're going to go like at 8 o'clock at
I
night.
watched one with him yesterday. Was that good?
Oh, it was really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought you'd have been too tired. We were going to do a show yesterday, guys.
Yeah.
But
we only did it. It was like 2 hours.
Okay.
You know, we did the High Vibes Up the night before, and then his yesterday, because usually we do both of them on Wednesday, but he was, loaded up on Wednesday. So I did the High Vibes Up and then did the one on Wednesday or Thursday with himself and Jack. So it's like, get more people in there, and it's just a blast just doing it with more people. You're getting more knowledge through people. It's like, I mean, I feel really sorry for those that didn't wake up, that are going to really regret not waking up and realizing that, wow, I mean, and people are like, oh, we can't wait till this movie comes out. What movie? This is it.
We're in the movie.
It's like, we're in the movie. We are the LARPs.
Yeah.
We're the live action role players. And it's like, that's when we all have to start. I mean, if you just sit there and think, it's like, how did we all come together at the same time? And we all just click in like a spiritual and a soul family. It's like, when you meet people, it's like you're hugging them. It's like there's no animosity. It's like there's no ego. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's bringing what they know at the table, and we're just doing what we can.
Yeah.
For the collective.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the fact that you brought that up, because this isn't about being egocentric. This is a movement where, we don't need to troll anyone to get ahead. This is something that we are trying to discern, trying to speculate all the information that we've got at our hands, at our fingertips, and trying to grow from that. I'll tell you something. This movement, you're saying about people not waking up and they'll probably regret it. I think the cognitive dissonance is so deeply ingrained that at times when I switch off, Jason, I just go blank, and I sometimes can't face all of this. That's why I don't do as many shows as I used to. And I've been saying that for the last 6 months. So I try and kind of empathize as to where the other side, and I hate having sides, but where the other side is psychologically with everything that's going on. I'll tell you something. A lot of my friends do realize something's going on, who have taken the Jabberwocky, and they are like, we're not going to do the rest, but
good.
They are. It's almost being duped and feeling violated, and they're feeling like crap. There were people shouting and screaming about stuff, but this is too much for us to handle. And sometimes, I can get like that. Sometimes I don't want to know. I don't listen to any other podcasts. I don't listen to what the latest stuff is. I don't even watch the news, and I don't know what's going on even in the movement, because I'm so like in my sort of tunnel vision, focusing on our autism product, for example. And that for me at the other side is where we've been solution focused, is right. Okay, well, we know what this is doing to people and the correlation between autism and having that from birth. And that's where my sort of vibe is at the moment, helping humanity on that side, and the school.
Healing. Yes. Being the nurture.
Yeah.
And plus with your, because the thing about it is that your religion / spiritualism, it's so powerful that, I mean, if you're getting spiritually attacked, I mean, they're serious attacks. They're not like, Christianity is like, well, once people realize about Christianity, they're going to be like, damn it. Because it's paganism. That's all it is. It's like, guys, they say don't worship false idols. Well, then you're going to a church where they have a guy on a deconstructed cube just hanging there. It's like, don't you think that it's like, wouldn't it be a good idea just to go and just take them down and just not have that cross up there? Because it's like, I mean, it's like, say that, say I had a kid and say somebody beat him to death with a baseball bat, right? That's like me carrying a baseball bat just for, it's like, why would you want that symbolism? It's not right.
Yeah, I always thought that as a child.
Yeah.
I was raised in a Catholic school, surprisingly.
And the funny thing is that if you look at some of those pictures where they have Jesus, he's wearing a cross. It's like, guys, does anybody see anything weird with this? It's like, why would he be wearing a cross? And they put him on. What's like, you see where they're going with this? It's like a cross is just, it's the black cube. It's a deconstructed cube, but they have a Jerusalem cross, which is just a plus sign. The plus sign is a Jerusalem cross, but they have pluses in this. But a cross, you wrap it up, it looks like a dice, which is a black cube, which you had the 2 black cubes over in New York City. Why'd they do 9/11? They took down the 2 towers, the mother, father, and then they took down the child afterwards. They stole the gold from the basement tower 7. And that was your Christos, your Christ consciousness. They stole it from the basement. And what they do, they put up 1 tower, androgyny and transhumanism. It's exactly what they did. And now look at it. It's so just whacked out. It's like, is this even real?
Yeah.
But then also we're coming up on the 5th year anniversary of the Vegas shooting on 10/1.
Yeah. Gosh, was that 5 years?
Yes. And the thing is, guess who it was resigned the day before that anniversary? Chief Justice John Roberts. So now if he's resigning, well, who are they going to put in to take his place? Remember that one black justice or whatever that are going, you can't define a woman. But then when you look at all of her cases, she was letting all the pedophiles back on the streets. It's like, there's only one place for pedophiles. That's a wood chipper. That's it. Slow speed, rusty blades, put them in feet first. That's it. Anybody that harms a child, I'm sorry. That's it. You know, people are like, oh, well, what happened when I was young? It's like, everybody has that inner strength to either suck it up and say, I'm better than that, or to sit here and say that, oh, I'm just going to fall in like the rest of them. Because that's why a lot of people are in this too, because a lot of people have been abused, but they just don't say anything. But they're going to fight for the ones that need help. And it's shitty. Because I hate to say it, but I think we were all abused when we were kids. It's really fucked up. But the thing is, like, we're not fucking taking this shit anymore. We're not letting anybody do anything to kids. Because guess what? We're still kids. Because if we are biologically immortal, we're all children. We're all God's children, right?
Right.
And that's it. But the thing is that when people are like, oh, you're racist, like, there's only one race. It's only human race. That's it. How can you be racist? Everything else is a divisive tool. You've got religion. You've got this. You've got sports that are doing it. I mean, people are so...
So we remain in this constant flux of distraction. And so that we cannot, first of all, go inward and center on what's going on within the divinity within us. So like corrupted and convoluted with everything that's going on around us that we just can't actually see and be still. We're all guilty of it, because this is the thing that we have been trying to unhook ourselves from, even though we can sit here and say that we're awake and whatever. It's how we emotionally deal with things internally and what's going on. We can still get entrapped within the whole 3D matrix, the egotistical thinking. You said, she said, I felt. We forget to be governed by love and come back to heart-centered space. And this is where this is happening, even in the truth and movement, where, you know, sometimes it can get a little bit egocentric, because my truth's better than this truth, and this person's this and this person's that, which you and I know that we just stay away from all that kind of stuff, because it's, again, going into that entrapment of, you know, egomania. So we sort of recalibrate, recenter, and what I say is synthesize the bipolarity of what's going on within the collective, and spiritually have some kind of practice that keeps you sane. So I don't mean to sort of get in the way with what you were saying, but just something with
no, trust me, I agree with everything you're saying. I mean, yeah,
the energies have really, like, if we can really feel the energies and not get so off-centered by them. So for example, as a Mercury retrograde, I've had a shit few days, knowing that it was a Mercury retrograde, knowing that the full moon can really impact you intensely 3 days before, 3 days after. You've got, you know, we can sort of align to all of these kind of emotions and these energies and be fixated and be governed by them. It's really about having the awareness of how to navigate yourself through these energies. And, I'd love everyone to comment in the comment section and let me know how you're doing. How's everything going for you? Are people feeling like, as we are drawing to the end of the year almost now, not long to go till the end of this year, so much is happening.
But when you mentioned Mercury retrograde, you were talking right there. There's something funny about Mercury retrograde. Now, wouldn't retrograde mean that you're like going back, like being pulled back? Well, when you take the initials of Mercury retrograde, it's Mr. MR, right? That's Mr. That's the paternal.
Right.
That's the whole patriarchy. The patriarchy is getting removed, and we're putting the divine feminine back where it belongs.
Bingo.
The mother goddess.
Bingo.
And the thing is, like, we need this to happen, and we need it to happen now, because you had to make sure the two queens were out of the way. Right. Then you had the two night move, the double night move. You had the queen in Australia and the queen of Great Britain, because they're both in the British Commonwealth. C before D. Well, B is before C, right? British Commonwealth. It's all right there. Yeah. I mean, well, but then when you were mentioning about like the ego and everything, that like, oh, my truth is better than your truth. Like, yes, they want us to do one thing, right? Research.
Yeah.
When you have the documents and you could show them to people, it's like, look, instead, because I noticed this yesterday in when we were on a live chat, and it never even crossed my mind that some people that are listening to us are actually blind. So how we describe it and go piece by piece, even though we're showing paper, we're explaining it in a way that everybody can understand it, even the blind. Because I mean, they should be able to see too, because they should be able to have eyes to see, ears to hear. Why can't they? Because guess what? When it comes to getting healed, everybody's getting healed. And you want to talk about something like, can you imagine? I mean,
this is the healing journey, Jason. This really is.
I think when people are like, oh yeah, I told you, it's like, I think we're all gonna fucking lose our shit when you start seeing little kids that have had cancer, when they're out playing, when they have all their limbs, people are healthy, there's no cancers, people that were blind could see, there's no more PTSD, there's no more, I mean, and if everybody's healthy, that shoots the vibration way up.
Yeah.
Because you got rid of pharmaceuticals, you don't have to take anything. It's all self-healing.
Well, and that's what we have to do. That's the collective unity consciousness. Yep. We have been so derailed by the divide and conquer.
Yeah. But we need to find one another actually, and that's why everybody's like, oh well, that country, we don't like those people in that country because we went to war with them. It's like, who went to war with them? I didn't go to war with them. I have no problem with them. I have a problem with our government. Because if they're sitting here saying, we're going to take your gun, we're going to take your guns away because you guys are irresponsible. It's like, we have a question for you. Where's responsibility when you guys are sending all these 18 and 24-year-olds over to these lands fighting for freedom for 20 years, and we're coming back with our tails between our legs and nothing to show for it? We're giving the enemy all of our technology. It's like, so who's the dummies now? I mean, we didn't want to go over there and start a war. President Trump came in, no wars, no nothing. He hemmed it up, and everybody's like, oh, it's like, that man was nothing but a prince for us. And people still dog him. I'm like,
but why is that? I mean, why is that, Jason? It's the visual media.
You know what it is? It's that they've all been so brainwashed by the television, by entertainment, because they treat these actors and actresses and singers like false idols. It's like, screw them. They don't like you either. They're telling you whatever their handlers want you to know. That's it. They're not even real.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, you think these people can go out every night and drop in 50 points in basketball? No. What they do is when they sell their soul, they have to load their consciousness up on a computer. And it's a soul stone microchip. Google does it. So what they do is that if you don't stick with your end of the bargain, they just kill you. They clone you. And then they just put you out there and they're like, okay, well, you're going to throw this game. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. You're going to say this. You're going to say that. But there's one thing you don't have to do to a clone. You don't have to pay a clone. Who gets all that money? The Jews. Because the Jews are the ones that are the sports attorneys, that are sports agents. Not. And what do? Who are predominantly the athletes? The blacks. It's their own little slave trade they have between these colleges. They bring them through, and they even call it a combine for the NFL. That's farm equipment. It's like, guys, you guys don't see this at all, do you?
God.
It's that nasty. And you guys sit here and say, oh, it's white. It's like, we're not doing this to you. You're doing it to yourself. Right. You want to make all this money. You want to, it's like, hey, it's nice to have all that stuff. But the thing is, in order to have that stuff, you have to give something up.
Yeah.
Just like all these actors and entertainers, that they have to sacrifice something. I mean, even down to Kanye, he thought that they were just going to beat his mom up and all that, and they killed her. I mean, he's got to feel pretty damn bad still. Though he's still trying to atone for that. I mean, these people that have these sacrifices and everything, it's just like Foo Fighters with Taylor Hawkins on it. It's like, you don't think that was a sacrifice? All these are. Because once you start seeing how the inner workings are, you start seeing that they're sacrificing people, and they always do it on specific days, on their satanic high days and everything. It's like, these guys are nothing but evil. But then when we think it's like, it's what they put in music, right? Well, you're guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. When you're riding around a car and all that, and you hear a song come on, it's like, what do? You start singing along. It's like,
yeah,
you're making it manifest,
perpetuating that energy.
Yep. And the thing is, just because you're humming it or whatever, you're making it manifest.
Mm-hmm.
You are actually, you're putting your energy into the energy in that song, even though you don't know it's dark energy, and you're just like, holy shit. That's why they have these little, I mean, like, it's like Christmas, right? Like, Baby It's Cold Outside, they ban that, but then they have, like, all the Cardi B. It's like, that's dumb. And now look what they do with the schools to the kids. It's like, I mean, I'm honestly, God, I'm glad I don't have kids. There's no way I'd have a heart attack by now.
I was saying the same thing to Nick the other day. Like, I wanted children for so long, like, from a little girl, I really did. And now it's making sense to me that my path was meant to be completely different. And having seen what my niece and nephew are going through at their schools, and just children all around the world where they're pushing this transgender agenda, this cancel culture and identity politics of, being thought of as a dog or an it, or I don't identify as a woman, or all this chaos that's going on. They're normalizing pedophilia, and and having sex education for children from the age of 3, and minor attracted person. I mean, this is insane. This is toxic. This is the devil just having his like cake and eating it. Like, it's insane. They're pushing the agenda. Fortunately, though, people are now actually saying, whoa, wait a minute. Like, what, minor attracted persons is actually okay, that we can actually have them socially accepted in society. And this is where the uproar will have to happen, because it has to be from the parents. It's like, no, wait a minute. I'm not letting my child go through this. And a friend's child, Jason, said to me, she's only 11. Yeah, she's only 11. She goes, I don't have to worry about boys fancying me. She's 11, Jason. She goes, it's all about the lesbian vibe now, girl on girl. Girls, this is how crazy and sick this is in schools in the UK. She was saying that she gets hit on by girls her age, that she's so disturbed, like, she's very awake, her mum's awake, and having to kind of fight that kind of vibe where you're going to school to be educated. This kind of chaos that's going through. I'm not saying it's going through all schools, but hey, a lot of parents
90% of them
subliminally made its way. And the curriculum has all been changed. I had this lady, she was a part of the curriculum. She goes, Alpa, I need to speak to you. I need to speak to you. And then she got taken off Facebook. She goes, I'm a part, this was in 2020. She goes, they're pushing the agenda in schools and to normalize all these things. She goes, Alpa, it's going ahead. And 2 years down the line, I'm hearing this stuff. So parents, teachers, people who are working with little children, share knowledge. Share so that you can be, it doesn't matter how awkward and uncomfortable it is.
Say no, raise hell.
Yeah.
Call the parents to tell them what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like, you chose to actually be an educator, to be someone special in a child's life. You want to be special in a child's life? You want bring down the whole system. Because the thing is, like, this all started in universities, because nobody wonders about the universities and their foundations, because that's where they start pushing this agenda. Then you have all these social, what do you call them? I don't know. And then it's like, oh, they're going to forgive their student debt. It's like, whoa. So you're going to forgive the student debt for these people, these psychopaths that you put in to teach. It's like, but yet, when we discuss flat earth, it's like, there's a reason why I hammer it home with that. Because in that Supreme Court case, Throckmorton versus United States in 1890s, fraud vitiates everything. When you first walked in that classroom, what was in the classroom? A globe, right? When you take any globe, to go to any globe that you can find, right? Flip it upside down. At the bottom, it says, not for educational purposes. Then what is it for? It's all for show. It's all propaganda, because it means you're stuck here. There's no other land outside of here. This is where you live.
Right.
But yet, when you start getting older, it's like, how does the water stay up in spinning ball? When it makes no sense. I mean, we've got pages about it.
I got kicked out of class at 9 for questioning that.
Yeah.
By Mrs. Williamson. If you're watching, Mrs. Williamson, boo-hoo to you.
Yeah. Look who's a little bit more, upbeat with their spirituality and everything like that. Not you. It's like, and especially being an educator, you should have actually questioned that first as well.
Yeah.
It's like they say, like, watch the water. It's like water always finds its level. That's it.
Docile apathy and the sort of engineered programming that they've done, where people have become numb, and their consciousness has just their levels of consciousness completely diluted to the fact that people are walking around like zombies. It's the Truman Show. It really is. And to navigate yourself through this and to see this, you have to have some kind of spiritual discipline. And when I kind of go off the wagon and not, center myself, it can be quite hard. It can be hard to hear these things. So going back to what you were saying, like, in a way, I'm glad I don't have kids right now. There is that side to it. I agree. Because, to have to put up with all of this and what they learn and what they're taught, especially now, homeschooling, great. But then we want that integration for our children as well. Okay. Yep. So, it's about the balance, and then having the awareness to be able to teach your children that, okay, you're going to have to mix in these kind of chores, but stay centered and balanced. And it's so hard to do sometimes.
Well, and what's scary about it are these student athletes, because, like, well, you can't play football unless you get this shot, but you don't tell your parents, and they don't. And then what happens? They have a heart attack on the field, and the parents are like, what the hell's going on? It's like,
right.
Died of COVID. It's like, but they don't say it's from the. I mean, this is when this busts out. This has to start. This whole filth has to be cleaned from the Roman Catholic Church first, all the way down, because they're the ones that had the secret treaty of Verona that started poisoning the Republican governments and saying Republican governments are, need to be eradicated because they go against the monarchical governments. Then you have the free press. Mm-hmm. The free press and people having freedom of speech is the worst thing that could ever happen in the world. So it's like, whatever you do, strike it down. It's all in a secret treaty of Verona, written on November 22nd, 1822.
22nd, 22.
Yep. Yeah. Also, 1822, 1922, that's 100 years. Now, add 11 years to that to make it 111. That's 1933. From this year, 2022 to 1933, it's 89 years. What's 8 plus 9 again? So this works. Everything that happened in 1933, we're redoing, just like they took us off the gold standard and everything like that. It's all, we're doing a complete replay on history, because those who failed to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. That's why we have to do everything twice. We have to repeat it in such a way that we actually learn from our mistake so we can fix it right away. That's what they're doing. Even down to the Civil War, why Donald Trump went south and Joe Biden went north, and why they're building the gallows outside of Washington, D.C. Because when President Lincoln was assassinated, they actually executed 4 people. One of them happened to be Mary Lee Surratt. It was the first female to ever be executed by a federal government. Thing is that in 1863, it wasn't 1871. So our court system was still good. Why did the military tribunal hang them all? Because DC, Washington, DC, is a foreign country. It is not a part of the United States. That's why all these people, they all congregate there.
Rome, City of London,
and Vatican.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
But look, it's the pyramid, right? It is.
Well, and the thing is too, is that now you have California and New York. There's our 2 big problems right there. Because what people have to understand is that California's already split up into New California and Old California. Because California was never a state. Look at their flag. It says California Republic. We are states of a part of a republic, a United States of America, not United States and then a republic. And then you have, New York, which is called the Empire State. Which empire? The Roman Empire. Because where do they have the Roman Empire? In New York. It would be on Long Island. Because when everything was said and done, they did not have Long Island connected to the continental United States. They had to put up the 2 bridges, the George Washington Bridge and the Lincoln Bridge. There's a Lincoln Tunnel, 1 and 2. I mean, it blows your mind, because if you look at California, like they pass things like all the, Prop 17, Prop 19, you can't do this. You look at your lawnmower, it's like, well, in the state of California, there's known to cause cancer. It's like, well, I'm glad I'm not in California. I guess I could just use it all I want, right? It's like, but why do they have that? Why do they push this massive agenda and they get away with it? Because you have like San Francisco's sister city is Shanghai, China. And they did that because you had George Moscone and Harvey Milk. They're running for mayor of San Francisco. Guess who had him killed? Dianne Feinstein. Yeah, the one senator for California that's in there still now. All these, like Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff's great-grandfather, or great-great-grandfather, Jacob Schiff, is the one that created the NAACP.
Right.
He's the one that financed the Bolshevik Revolution,
yeah,
which caused the Jews to turn into Bolsheviks, which led them to bring communism and all this, because like the Society of Jesus are the Jesuits, right? Well, then, if there's a Society of Jesus, then is Jesus even good? It's like they took everything, even what Jesus looks like. That is not what Jesus looks like. That is Caesar Borgia. That is Pope Alexander VI's son. In fact, that evil demon, he was screwing his sister and he killed his brother to screw his sister. And I'm like, what is wrong with this family? But you look at the bloodlines, everything has to be incestual. Even down to Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States. He married his first cousin. Why?
Wow.
It's just like, like in Egypt, like King Tut, how he had all his deformities because of all the incest and everything, all the inbreeding. It's like, what do they have now? It's like, but they started perfecting it because they started making clones. Right. They started making artificial vessels that they could actually get their consciousness put into. So they don't have to look like a sling blade or anything like that. It's wild. But, if they would have came out and said this, do you think any of us would have believed this? Hell no, I would have been like, you guys are all crazy. No, what? No.
I encourage everyone to go and watch on Good Lion, the movie that Nick made on clones.
Oh, the Iron cloning, yes.
He predated human cloning right back to the Mahabharata, right back to when and this is for my Indian brothers and sisters as well, really look back into the Vedas and the story of the Mahabharata and what happened with that, with the test tube babies that started really with this one of the king's wife, Gandhari. She had 100 sons, the Kauravas. So this started back then, and even about this whole thing about eating children, if you really go to the Rig Vedas and study Rig Vedas, and I haven't, I'm not no expert, but it starts back then. And we say that the Hinduism, or it's become an ism, isn't it? It was a name given by the British and the Persians. Hinduism is actually, if people don't realize it was just originally the Sanatan Dharma, the Sanatan meaning truth, Sanatan, and Dharma. What does Dharma mean, as they say in the West? Dharma means your call to action. So what is that essentially? Add those two up. Truth is your call to action. Does that make sense? Yeah. There is the spirituality. Religions have been there to divide us, and we have been split as a collective consciousness to be so distracted that we forget. What were you saying earlier, Jason, about the vibration? If we're all emitting in those high vibrations, guess what? We're going to start healing the planet. But no, that is why we're kept in these low vibrations, because they want us all here, down, too distracted to find out the truth.
But I'll tell you what, I give it to the Indian people all the way to Modi, because remember 2015, you guys did the world a huge, huge service when you guys decided to take Bill and Melinda Gates and hang them. India did it. They had the balls to grab both and have them hung. On Ancestry.com, it even says that they're both hung in India, because what they were doing is they were mutilating all the female reproductive parts. And they didn't take, and the thing is, like, India's, I mean, they're a real peaceful country, but it's like, you don't want to piss them off. Now, also on September 8th, I forgot what year, guess what word was coined? Pakistan.
What was what?
Pakistan, the word.
Oh,
because it wasn't a word before. Now, I remember
Pakistan just one.
Pakistan and India. Why do they hate each other? They hate each other because Pakistan broke away from, they took a part of India.
The British,
the British were in there. Yep, split them up in a division. They have to have some kind of war going on.
Ahmed Jinnah and Gandhi were friends. Before.
Yep.
They were. But colonialism, look at what they did. Look at what the British did. They hijacked a lot of our Vedic wisdom. Mm-hmm. And you can see in Mumbai, for example, you'll see where the British left South Mumbai, for example. It's insane what they've gone and done. So a lot of people actually in India may not be mourning the death of the Queen, because it is what happens, and what do they steal from us?
You know what? They ought to be cheering on the execution of Barack Obama first, because what he did to India is unforgivable. What he did was he took one of his Pakistani buddies, Richard Verma, which that's not his real name. They churched it up. They made him the U.S. ambassador to India.
Right.
And the thing is, what took oil and water, guys, oil and water. So remember, Obama he never went to Pakistan when he was the president. He always went to India, just like Verma and all that. What are they doing? They're stealing secrets from him.
Right.
Well, who in their right state of mind would be Pakistani, just strolling right in? It's like, are you at death wish or something? It's like, people have no idea the hatred that these people have. But the thing is that the Indians, they're pacifists. They're not they're all peaceful. They're all spiritual. But the thing is, like, remember,
I don't know about myself. I can't.
What about the elephants, right? They always have elephants, everything, right? What doesn't an elephant do? It never forgets. Yeah. And the thing is that we have to start remembering everything, because if we stop remembering, we just fall in the same perpetual thing. That's why when you look at the whole Indian and Hindu and all that stuff, it's like, that's the true spiritualism. It's not a religion. It's like, you have to go within. They're not saying, oh, you have to go that whole savior complex. Like, oh, Jesus come to save us. Like, bitches, you guys got to save yourself, man. We have to do, this is the inner work we have to do.
Yoga is the union itself. It doesn't mean just these fancy poses all the time. Yes, it's great for the physiology side of things, but yoga is to be in that self-actualized union with self. Ultimately, as Hindus, we it's the spiritual enlightenment and what's the word I'm looking for? But ultimately, it's moksha, which means liberation of the soul. That this recycling of all these lifetimes that we've come here is to find out who we are. who we are at a soul level. And do we come back again? I don't think so. I think I might be my
I couldn't even imagine being an Indian or anything like that and coming to America and really seeing just how truly evil it is.
But they hijacked the Indians, Jason, because they've taught the Indians to outsource their thinking to the West. Yep. So there's societal conditioning things going on where it's like, oh, everybody wants to move to America because they have been siphoned spiritually. Yep. They've been hijacked spiritually to think that actually anything worthy is to be a doctor, to be a dentist.
That's your status.
That's the status.
Degrees. You have the degrees.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like your Masonic degrees.
Societal conditioning. And this is the situation where, like, actually we're home to spirituality and some of the most beautiful gnosis and wisdom. But everybody aspires to go outside, which is why, what have they done to the Indians? Why did everybody get jabbed? Everyone that I know, everybody that I know within the Asian community got it. What they trying to do?
Did they get one? Did they get one, or did they go back for the boosters? Because the first one wasn't the kill shot. It's the boosters that was actually hijacking your DNA. So if you got the first shot and that's it, I mean, hey, first one's on the house, second one's going to cost you. It's like, that's why you have to use your head. It's like, okay, well, I got a shot, but then you get COVID. It's like, well, didn't you just get that shot in order not to get that? It's like, remember we all had chicken pox when we were kids? What happened? Party at Billy's house. Everybody takes their kids over there to the person that has chicken pox because it's all the immunity, her immunity. You have to get that out of your system. I mean, even though you think the parents like doing that, no, but it's like they did it for your own good because you're not going to catch it anymore. They want you to do it as a kid because if you get older, you get shingles. I mean, you can have some serious problems with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, do we really need vaccines? No, they just need to not cut the umbilical cord and take the placenta home with us and go ahead and like the 2 weeks and then let it fall off. But what do? They take the scissors and they give them to the father. Like, here you go. You cut the cord because all you've done is that you have removed yourself from the equation if you've installed the Pope. There's your what's that trust? This SHIVAYA trust or 1660. That's what it's done. You've abandoned your child at sea because one of the placenta does not go home with you. They take it.
Yes.
What do you do with these placentas? I mean, I'm not, and like these blood drives. What do you do with these blood drives? Like, how much blood do they actually need? We always make blood. It's like, this isn't like a car where it's like you could run out of oil.
Right.
But what do? They take this blood. It's like they're doing in Silicon Valley. They even said in magazines, they're taking children and they're hooking them up to a machine and then hooking up to an old person and they're draining the blood out of the child and putting it into the old person. But it's like, yeah, it's like, you're getting like an oil change. Like, but what about the child's blood? You have to have the same amount of blood in both bodies. So you're draining completely out. There you go. And then there's their fountain of youth. It's like, no. Machetes, wood chippers, shotguns. That's what we need. But we're going to be peaceful this time because you know what? Violence is going to do it. Because what is power? Knowledge is power. If you actually give the populace the knowledge to say, hey, this is wrong, and all of us stand up to this, there's way more of us than there are of them. Yeah. And we're talking worldwide. Because this whole patriot movement, it's just not in America and Great Britain. It is all over the world. And I mean, I love all my patriot sisters, my patriot brothers, all of them. I don't care where you're from. If you're a patriot, I got you. We all have your back.
Well, as Mark Atwood,
that's it. We're all one family. I cannot wait to meet him.
He's one of the most individuals. Mark Atwood, seriously, is like my spiritual brother. My spiritual brother, and he's just so clued up on the spiritual side of things, psychological, side of things. Him and I have so many chats, and I'm like, I'm on breaking point, Mark. I can't do this anymore. It's like, Alpa, this is a part of the game plan. We've got to stay strong, and we've got to be able to go out of ourselves and observe ourselves and see what's going on from just as an observer. These things where they're hijacking us, but through spiritual attacks, psychic attacks. I mean, Mark and I, on our very first show, and I've said this so many times, people are bored of probably hearing this, but my first show, it was like almost like both of us got the blessings of the blue light. Just a blue light came out of nowhere.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and it was like
you were saying about the show. I'm like, what? And I remember you were sitting there and you were telling me about. You said that the whole blue light got blue by him. Like,
it was just a little tiny orb. And that day, I really called upon the energy of Lord Shiva, because I got very nervous. It was my first podcast that I was doing on this channel. And I just was speaking to a friend, and she just goes, go inward and I'll pray for you. Asked to speak to, Archangel Ashtar. And I said, well, look, I'll just call upon Shiva. He's my Ishtadev. And I did. And I was like really, really nervous, Jason, because I was really shy doing all this public work, believe it or not. And then Mark is just there and I'm rabbiting on, going, blah, 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 and this light just goes, it starts like this. And then it went into like a triangle, and then it just went around me. And for me, that was confirmation that God is on my side. Like, God is here with me. I'm going to have to really surmount so much courage to do what really makes me uncomfortable, which was, doing all of these shows and stuff. But this is so significant when we can see for all of us the evolution of our soul and our spiritual journey, to go inside, to really find out that everything is as it is, and it's meant to be. And it's aligning ourselves with that and knowing that we are on the right path, no matter how bad things go. Because people, look, they're holding out all of the truth that's accountable, like this was supposed to happen by this date, this was supposed to happen, and what about this? And people become despondent with Trump, what's happening with there. But Trump took over. I mean, a lot of countries apparently capitulated to him way back. Yeah, he was in power even before he was in power, right? So he won.
Yeah, and also he won for us. But the thing is, like, when they say that, something was supposed to happen before this date, it's like, who told you that date? We've been wrong on a lot of dates, but the thing is, like, nobody told us those dates. We're just using what we assume, dig into, and what we see through historical stuff. It's like, okay, well, then this could happen this day. It could happen. Is it going to happen? We don't know. Because if we could find it out, then that means the enemy can find it out. That means that, well, that's not that much of a secret plan, isn't it? Right. Not really.
Right.
But they want us to work for this.
Do you feel Trump still is like, this is a movie playing out, and people are their patience have worn thin, because where is he? Why isn't he showing? He's just, they're two sides of the same coin. And you've heard it all before, Jason. But
he's the commander-in-chief of the Republic. What they did was they already had the bankruptcy, but the last president is Biden, because he's the last president of the corporation, the United States. Mm-hmm. That's why when you took out the Queen, guess what? It broke everything. It broke everyone free, because what it did is that it just did away with the whole Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. Because back in the year 1213, when King John of England, when he turned around and made the Pope the vicar of Christ, so he said, "You're God on earth." So what did he do in return? He said, "You know what? Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and give you dominions over all the lands on earth." And that's how you got the British Commonwealth. That's how they felt like they could just rule over everybody, because it's like, well, our God said so. It's like, but who made him God? You can't have a man make another man a God. It doesn't work that way unless you're playing with that other God, and they are. Right. Because let's face it, I mean, if our God was all about pedophilia, no, I'm cashing my chips in. No. And that's the thing. I mean, people think, oh, well, the Vatican, it's like, that's the one place that needs to be completely exposed more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's going to break a lot of people's heart. The truth of put 99% of people in the hospital. Well, yeah, you're taking away people's faith. We talked about this years ago. And look, here it comes. Gonna bite people in the ass. It's like, but yet people are sitting there saying, oh, you're stupid. It's not like this. Like, do you think they're kidding in all this? It's like, what would put 99% of people in a hospital? I mean, when you tell them that their faith is that their belief system is wrong, that there's no
Right.
belief in it. But it's like, but the thing is, when we go in and we believe in ourselves and we
Mhm.
trust ourselves, what does that do? That means that you start believing and trusting in others. Then you start networking and it gets into one big collective where we are all collectively God, a lowercase g, but we're not the prime creator. We did not create everything here, but we did ascend up to another level where we're all God, we're all equal. And that's what we need. Because if you notice, there's people that are going to go hungry tonight, going home. It's like going to sleep. It's like, that's wrong. People that are thirsty, people that are homeless. It's like, you mean to tell me that these people could sit here and put men on the moon and shit like that, but you can't even feed people? Feed humans? I mean, right there. Or veterans, homeless veterans. You could send them off to war and then you bring them back and you're like, it's like, but yet, when they were over there doing your bidding, they formed bonds with these other men and women.
Mhm.
I mean, brotherhood, sisterhood, us. It's like when they come back, you strip that from them. They feel empty, alone. What do they resort to? Drugs, drinking, suicide.
Exactly.
That's why it's like we need to just bring all. It's like, guys, come on. We're just gonna build these big communities and say, you know what? We're gonna have all these veterans and all that. We need to bring them back together. Because that's the only, because it's like the whole collective. You have to bring them back too, because when they're collectively as one, because like they trust their brother and sister with their life. I mean, some of your friends are like, it's like, you trust that person in your life? It's like, hell no. It's like, man, that guy would burn boiling water. And you're gonna expect him to watch my back? It's like, no.
Yeah.
There are some of those people that are fruitcakes like that. It's like they're like way off their rocker, but you look at these military men and women, it's like they need that. They need that brotherhood and sisterhood. And what do? They say, oh, join the Masons. Be a Freemason.
Yeah.
There's your brotherhood. It's like, yeah, fuck it, let's all join up a go Satan. No, wrong, guys. It's just, I mean, at least we see that there is light at the end of this tunnel, and it is going to be the brightest light ever. Because when all this comes down, when everything goes down, and people are like, when they're finally step on stage, that's good. Because you know what? Sorry, we hate to love and leave you guys, but you guys get to sit down and watch all these movies that Nick made, all the podcasts we did and everything like that, because that's how you're going to learn. If you'd have just done this the first time, you wouldn't have to worry about doing this now.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't hurt as much.
They chose their script when they came into in the world. People chose this is, how evolved are they on the journey of their soul and the trajectory of their soul. And if we
are they ready? Are they ready for an ascension? Or maybe they need more work. It's like, that's the work that's not work we could do for them. That's work they need to do for themselves. And that's the thing. People want to jump out and reach out and say, well, Jesus is going to save me. It's like, nobody's going to save you. Nobody ever said somebody's going to save you. That savior complex is wrong. You have to save yourself.
Yeah. And humanity is purging so much. We're learning to face all our fears, our wounding, because the psychological psyops that have happened and fractured the collective, Jason, in so many levels, where we were just distracted by what our parents did or didn't do stuff, the sort of sibling rivalries, the competitive,
keeping up with the Joneses, and
keeping up with all these sort of social conditioning kind of norms and rules. And then you kind of feel funny if you're the odd one out and you don't. I grew up feeling like a complete misfit. Nick and I were like we've got this autism product that we just magically came across by these two divine individuals. And I had been obsessed with the subject of autism for the last 12 years, simply because of my nephew. And then it struck me that it's been this journey to really find out, actually, I think I could sit on the spectrum very mildly, if not quite a bit, with ADHD. And I remember when I first started this, I was like all over the place with my questioning, and I always used to interrupt people. I wasn't a trained presenter or anything, but I think that we all potentially could have something, because we've been so abused with heavy metal toxins and the things that have get thrown at us, that our brain chemistry is just so effed, you know. We are so hijacked in everything that's why, again, distraction. We forget to breathe, right? We keep forgetting the main reason why we're here is to find out who we are and what we're doing here. So the way that they have orchestrated all of this in a really crazy way, and I don't mean this to say, but it's the intelligence of the devil in a very terrible way. Right? I mean, look at the intricacies of how they have managed to keep everybody distracted, the interwoven layers to this. And
the Kundalini and all that Caduceus. But also to build on that, we have to think about it, it's like, just imagine outsmarting that evil and actually being 5 steps ahead of that, and then saying, hey, we're going to grab a bunch of people and say, hey, let's go. And we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And like, you guys are going to learn. And it's like, okay. Because I'll tell you what, over the past couple of years, this has been the greatest. I mean, I don't care any kind of school. It's like, this has been, because a lot of us, we sacrifice everything. We sacrifice careers, everything. This has got to be, you know, just for the career, this is going to be the greatest sacrifice ever made, is for the career, because learning all of this and becoming one with everyone else, it's something that you can't even describe, because it's a love that is like this whole like unconditional love. It's like, that's why our pets and all that. That's why, you know, you see people without pets and they're a little off their rocker, but you see kids that had pets their whole life. It's like they have that compassion.
Yeah,
they have compassion for animals. They have compassion for humans and all that. It's like, that's why they helped us more than anyone in this.
Yeah.
But then yet they can't talk to us or anything like that. It's like, you know, you go to work, you have a bad day, you come home, dog's like wagging a tail. It's like, shit, my day wasn't bad at all, man. What's up? It's like, you want to go play? It's like, hell yeah. It's like, let's go, Dad. It's like, you want to talk about, I mean, instead of getting a beer or anything like that, it's like, get a dog. Come home, and just have fun.
He is my therapy, Kenzo is, and I just try to not get so attached, especially when I travel. And I find it so hard, because that unconditional love, Jason, and just that, it's just that beautiful energy that animals give you. I'm huge. I mean, and I understand animals more sometimes than I can relate to humans. You know, it's just easier.
I would much rather deal with animals than humans.
Really?
Because I'll tell you, humans, we have everything in front of us that we could actually change who we are, and we can actually be better people. But the thing is that those animals, they need us to feed them and water them and all that, and to actually be their caregivers.
Yeah.
And what they give us is that they give us more than we'll ever give them.
Yeah, but it's taking care of the pet. The way, I mean, I cook for Kenzo, like I make him fresh meals every day, everything organic, and he's such a fuss pot, fresh vegetables. My friend Catherine Edwards has taught me how to do this. She's phenomenal as well, and you know, she's like a pet psychologist, and she really taught me, you know, the investment that I take to sit down with him, and I have to feed him. My dog sometimes wants to be fed by my hands. He won't eat from the bowl. That's how sort of little brat he is. But you know what? I find it really funny with his little quirky personality. And then I've got this other friend's dog here, and he's just completely different. They all have such individual personalities. And I love what you've just said there. This reminds me of when we've done a lot of our one-to-ones in the past, Jason. I love doing like the round tables and everything, but when I connect with you on this level and on this, like sometimes the information that you impart with all of us, it just, sometimes I'm just like, whoa, this is like, this guy's a genius, and you're retaining all that information. But to connect with you on this spiritual energy, I love it. So thank you.
Well, I mean, thank you too. And the thing is, like, because we go into this, we don't even know what we're going to talk about. It's like, that's the best part, is that everything comes from here. That's it. I mean, you know, it's like going on the road and all this with the Truth Tour. It's like, you know, and we thought it was, I mean, I was sweating bad when I was doing my first podcast. And it's like, and I could see you can see me, and I could see anybody else. It's like, now when you stand there in front of people, it's like,
Oh my God. How did you feel? I did the Reawakening one with Charlie in Birmingham. Oh my God. What a mess. I was a fumbling mess. And I'm actually, everyone, on the 6th of November. Mark always tells me to plug this. See, look, just terrible presenter. I keep forgetting to plug the healing show that we're doing. It's all about different modalities of healing in Manchester on the 6th. So Mark's going to be on the Truth Tour, and then afterwards it's going to be back in the UK for
sweet.
Yeah, but isn't it different when you are like here, we're in a Zoom conversation and we're sitting behind the screen, and then to be stood in front of so many people and people coming up to you saying, hey, Jason, or hey, Alpa, or hey, Mark, or whoever, wow, you got me through some of those days when nobody else was like me and my family. That alone, I mean, I get really overwhelmed.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean,
we're all in this together, but that's where you feel your heart centered. It's beautiful.
There were times, I mean, I thought I was going to break down.
Oh, bless you.
Well, when you talk to people, it's like, prevent them from killing themselves. Like, what? Yeah. It's like, I'm just a mouthy prick on here. That's all. It's like, we're just doing what we're supposed to do. It's like, they told us in drops, like, okay, get the paperwork. It's like, okay. It's like, Mom, I mean, this is fucking first time I'm actually listening to fucking directions, I guess. It's like, men, they don't take directions. Like, first time, it's like, hey. Yeah, I mean, we had to try somewhere. It's like,
how was it there? Did you go to every single one?
Well, we did. I did 6 of them, and I'm doing all 17 this time.
Wow, good.
I'm flying out. What is it? September 19th or September 20th. Yeah. Flying out to California to Lewis's house, and then we're going to start in Sacramento, and then we're going to do the whole tour side. Because, right. and like we said, it's like, you said it's like, but when you meet like the people and everything, that's what when you meet each other in person, and you just realize like there is like, I mean, honestly, it's one of those things that it's like, and I said, we need to like when we were in Vegas, I'm like, we need to check out the Schumann resonance.
Wow. Yeah.
Because when you start looking at it and you put all these truthers together with no ego, with nothing but love and everything, in truth, it's like it just shot by. Well, guess that's
it was like when I met MLK for the first time. It was just like, wow, I'm seeing you. We had such great energy together. So, do you remember the one that you, Mel, and myself did as well?
Yeah.
In 2021. Yeah.
Yep.
Still got it on the show. That was great. It's these
and what was it? It's like you're like, oh, it's like because we found something out, and then it's just like it's like, hey, Raymond, slow down. It's like, I'm good. And because when you're in person, you really got to slow it down, and you only have a certain amount of time. So it's like when you're talking to people, it's like instead of like it's just like because people take like cards on. It's like I can't do that. It's like I gotta just shoot from the hip, and that's it. You're gonna get what you're gonna get. That's it.
I saw so many pictures of you on Facebook with various people saying, hey, I got to meet Jason. I mean, that's been quite overwhelming for you as well.
But I told people
I'm a humble person, and like my cheeks start burning. It's like I'm not God. Or when people say, oh, Jason, you changed my life and you prevented me from killing myself. I mean, that's a big statement to say. And
it is. I mean, it was
up and say, God, thank you that if I change one person's life and help them, hey, I've done something right in this lifetime.
Yeah. But the best part about it though, I gotta say, because I mean, you know me with my sense of humor, having all these old women come up and saying fuck, and like fuck, it's like, and they're like, you didn't say fuck. I'm like, well, no. I mean, I'm talking in front of you guys. I mean, you guys are all on board. It's like, you sure it's you? It's like, yeah. You gotta say the word fuck. It's like,
Jason, you are popular with the ladies.
Well, the word fuck, it's like, because it's like people are like, well, why you say, you can watch your mouth? It's like, who actually made that a bad word? I mean, that's the most versatile word that you could use for any emotion, any event, anything. It's like,
he talks about the word fuck.
That's it.
You should see the clip about what he says with that. It's hilarious. You can apply it to so many different emotions and so in various contexts. So yeah,
Yep.
I hear you,
And
but
the whole English, it could be an adjective, an adverb, a verb, but not. It's like fucking A. It's like that guy's fucking stupid. It's like which way you want to go? It's like it's just how you say it. And it's just like with everything you say, you have to watch your words because you can say that is fucking awesome, or you can say that is fucking retarded. And you look at it's like, well, which one's good and which one's negative?
carrying
Like,
the same kind of
yeah, you use that same word, but it's like the adjective. It's like, what'd you do there? It's like that's why the whole numbers. You gotta play the numbers game. Now, when we ascend, then gematria is good.
right.
You can't use it now because it's all been hijacked here. It's all been poisoned. It's bad. No good. No bueno. Kick it out because it's been hijacked by the cabal, by the Kabbalah.
I have a question about the secret societies, actually. Like, where are we with that? You were mentioning about all the handlers and the sacrifices that still happen within the, the media fraternity with all the Hollywood celebrities.
Oh, they're taking so many out.
There's so many, like, I mean, I was just thinking about what happened with Kobe Bryant. And I think he was ruled by the secret society, the Boule Society.
Yep, the Black Boule. Yep.
Black Boule. And then there's what, the 9 ones. I mean, I learned a lot of this when, I don't know if you remember Bishop Larry Gators.
Yep.
Do you remember him?
Yep.
Yeah, he went a bit funny on all the truthers as well, but he was a fountain of knowledge about all different secret societies. But where are we with that right now? Like,
well, the thing is that with these secret societies, everything's getting exposed.
Yeah.
Because the funny thing is that they want to call it racist, right? Freemasonry does not allow Black people in their fraternity. That's why they have the Black Boule. It's the Black Freemasonry. It's like you guys are bigger bigots than anyone.
And Oprah is a handler for the
Oprah she's one of the head witches.
Yeah, she's a high priestess, which as the Kardashians and all
the whole Mothers of the Darkness Castle, and they need to just take all these people out. All of them, every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, like, when we saw last year that they were all wearing ankle monitors, they're still all under some form of arrest, but they're having to play the role of what they've been ordered to do, because there's so many people that news to me that Bill and Melinda Gates were killed in India. A lot of the people that are representing them, come on, Bill and Melinda Gates just do not look anything. You don't even have to be down the rabbit hole to literally realize that, whoa, they look nothing like what they did. Oh, where did you go? Did we lose your sound?
I don't want to blow my nose in the speaker. Sorry. That'd be really bad. It's like, can I mute? But no, I mean, but even the Bill and Melinda Gates, like, and people are like, oh, Bill Gates is buying out all this farmland. I'm like, you guys, he's dead. You ain't buying shit when you're dead. It's like they already took everybody's money. They seized everybody's assets. That's it. They're done. Even Biden declined. It's like they took everybody out. That's the catch and release. They catch the bad one and they release the clone, because the clone cannot, without a handler, a clone will bite and it will rape. That's why all the female clones have penises, because, well, you got to rape. They have the Donna's belt and everything like that. And they all have, if you have detached earlobes before, you have attached now. Because they're not going to do that. Yep. And it's just pure evil.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean, who's that puppet?
Well, they're all clones. They took them all, and they have them all in Guantanamo Bay because they're like, they want them, because when they expose the whole thing, it's like, there's your whole legacy right there, done. And then it's like off to the
some people will never get exposed because they've made an agreement, haven't they? So
but in Tit for Tat, in our favorite book right here, Told Diplomacy, The Art of Winning Risk, in Tit for Tat, the best part about it is they talk about like if someone stabs you, stab them in the next game. But It says, if while playing a board game, the board game or an online game, Q is an online game, right? We're all online. You realize that you are playing against a set of strangers that you are sure that you will never play again. You should choose to backstab them all and break their deals. This is why historically a rogue stranger entering a community for a short time is feared and not trusted until proven otherwise. A short-term stranger with no potential future contact is the most feared individual you ever come across. And who's that? President Donald John Trump. It's like, they said no deals. That's it. Why would we give these people deals? You crossed the red line by doing things with kids. That's it. We already told you what the red line was. Done.
Yeah.
It's like, how could you? It's like, you know.
I really honestly, listen, I really look forward to some real realizations for humanity, to find out that at the crux of everything that we are fighting for is the children, and what happened to the children of our earth. And, you know, it's been such a long road, and people have become despondent. People have got tired. When you just remember what we were fighting for, I sometimes get like, I desensitize myself. Like I said earlier, sometimes
it's tough.
It being very empathic in nature and absorbing energies. I didn't know before. I was absorbing so many different energies, and it was just depleting me. But again, this is what's happened to a lot of people. But yeah, you know, we have the tenacity to snap out of it, gain introspection, go inward and say, now we're still in here, we're still warriors, because that's what we signed up to do on this mission. And it's interesting, you know, 2020 was the lenses that gave the world to get 2020 vision, to realize, to have the real eyes to see. Actually, we're presented with information, and what we do with that information now, energetically, you know, people say, oh, I have had a download, or that intuitive compass that we're all gifted with. The sixth sense has been so desensitized. Again, what we were talking about, the distraction, that we forget.
Nanotechnology,
very powerful individuals. But we are also now up against AI and how sophisticated AI is. And I'm going to actually speak about this, because I'm going to tie it up when I do like about 5 minutes solo after this, and I might put it in at the start. But it's awesome. Interesting about what these the black goo, the occult, the spells that have happened to hijack, you know, divine unions. To keep us completely distracted and fighting and just in that lower state. And if we were taught to learn to trust ourselves, our vibration would be a lot higher. Our sixth sense is so hijacked and desensitized that, guess what? We don't trust ourselves. So how are we going to trust other people? And this perpetuates this energy of this low vibration. I mean, look at the music that we listen to. It's there and designed, like you said, you know, you can't help but sing along to these rap songs. I mean, I just think I was like, you know, I wish I was a rap star at some point.
Yeah. And now it's like, hell no, I'm glad. It's like, no.
I'm ridiculous at it, but yeah, like
Nick. I couldn't sing it all.
But it's the frequency playing it. It's the frequency that these sounds have been omitted at. Even the news, what is it there to do? Is to perpetuate that anxiety. A lot of people say, I don't know why when the news comes on, me being sensitive to the energies, not knowing what they were, not realizing all these conspiratorial narratives, I used to just get very anxious, get just anxiety out of nowhere when I'd hear the BBC News anthem.
I think what it is with the news with you is that you sense that there is no energy coming from that individual from that side of the TV, that you know that that person is not real, but that person is, because the thing is, we know our energy signatures. That's our quintessence. Like when you go to the RV and everything like that, when we turn our currency, everything, it's like, there will be people there that will see if you are service to self or service to others. It's like, you can't bullshit energies. It's like, everything's here. That's it. It's like, that's why when we were younger, remember how like there was always this one question we were always asked. It's like, if money wasn't an object and you could do anything and help anyone, what would you do? You know, and then you have people saying, oh, I'd buy a big house, a new car. But then you have some people, it's like, well, they would help others because they know that others weren't given that chance and that benefit. But you know that by helping them it actually helps everyone. It helps the collective, because then you're still going to get yours.
Exactly.
But why should you sit here and be greedy and eat and watch somebody else starve? It's like, when there's more than enough for all of us to eat, more than all of us to drink. It's like, but who's holding that back? It's the same ones that want us all divided. It's just like the Democrats, what they're doing in these cities. And they're saying, oh, look at all these black people going here and shoplifting and everything like that. So it's like everybody, as soon as a black person goes in a store, everybody's like looking like you're going to steal. It's like, you're not even giving them the benefit of the doubt. And that means that you can't even trust yourself, because you're not even trusting them. What if they just go up, they buy a bag of chips and they pay for it and they walk out? How stupid do you feel? I feel pretty stupid. But you know what? It's the Democrats that are saying, oh, if they steal anything under $1,000, it's okay. It's like, since when is that okay? I thought under this whole 10 Commandments that thou shalt not steal, right? It's like, it's giving them a carte blanche. It's like, but it's only happening in these Democrat-run shitholes. And that's why all of these, they just need to be purged. But I think it had to get to a point where we had to see that these Democrats are pure evil. Because it's like, when they said like Pride Month, they made it the 6th month, right? When you take this,
June was quite a demonic month. There was six portals. It was the 666 portals in June.
Like this, right? Pride Month now. Demons right in the middle. There you go. And then what? They want to hang their rainbow flag. It's like now they're starting to change the colors to pastel. It's like, why? That's the pedophilia. It's like when they say LGBT, it's like, okay, you have lesbian, gay, bisexual. So technically you've just eliminated right there, because you've already determined by bisexual that there are only 2 sexes: lesbian, woman, gay, men, bisexual. There's only 2 sexes. Now you have the whole transgender, and then what's the whole Q plus? It's like a queer. It's like, isn't that you can't put queer there because it's already covered under lesbian and gay. That's it. They're using different synonyms to hide what the Q plus really is. It's all about the children. What if Q plus is really kids?
God, to think, hey, Jason.
What if it's actually these what do they call them? The kids, the special, not the real special ones right now. What do they call them?
Starseeds?
No, they were like mainly in Africa, and they have the blue eyes. Like they're heavily melanated, so like dark, but they have blue eyes, but they're not rainbow children, but what are they called?
Palladium?
No. It's some kind of, I forgot the term, but what if it's them helping us save ourselves? What if it's our higher selves when we were younger? We're actually helping ourselves save ourselves.
Well, this is what this journey is about. We are here to first. You see, it's great to do so much for the collective, and of course, but there is a lot of truth in this saying that you're going to make sure your cup is full. And I've been guilty of that. You just do it, and I burnt out. You burn out. So you have to be whole within yourself and centered and balanced. And then you can, not deplete yourself, but you can actually be a steadfast warrior where you're so centered in this war, this spiritual war that we're going through as well, and fight accordingly,
Well, and also, you need to surround yourself with other fellow patriots and warriors that actually, if one should stumble, fall, whatever, it's like they're there to pick you up. It's like, nope, let's go. It's like, and that's the best part about this. It's like, people get burned out. It's like, hey, go take a week off, do something,
exactly.
Come back. I mean, we're not going anywhere. No, I mean, we're still putting this boot in their ass.
Enough people doing this and playing their part and doing their bit for humanity, and everyone has something special to offer. Everyone, because nobody's Jason, nobody's Alpa. You're unique. You're your own unique badass, Yeah, and everyone's got to remember that about themselves, that they're their own badass, that they have the tools within. And it's sometimes gnarly because it's doing the shadow work, understanding or understanding the good, bad, and ugly within the self, which is where then we come from a place of compassion, and you can see, well, where in my life am I doing X, Y, and Z? And we can neutralize the charges of shame and guilt and anger and all these things that we have subliminally been like completely bombarded with without even realizing. These psychological psyops have fractured our souls as well. And this is the unlearning of everything that we thought was true, and having that belief system within ourselves, like what you were saying earlier on. People will be shattered when they realize that their belief system, their world is actually was a lie. So what better to do? Just pretend that it doesn't happen. Cognitive dissonance, and
what we do is we go and we show as much love and sympathy to them. It's like, look, we were in your shoes too. We're just letting you know that if we got out of it, you can get out of it.
Yeah,
it will help. It's like, we know that you had to see this, and the thing is, like, seeing is believing. But also, we didn't say, hey, trust us or anything like that. It's like, no, everybody is in, like you said, everybody's in their own journey. Everybody's in their own lane. But it's like, it's going to come up to a stoplight.
Yeah.
And you're going to start hearing tires scream. It's like, these people are going too fast. These people are just putzing along. But it's like, we're all coming to stop. It's like, now what? It's like, are we all ready to go or what? Because it's like, we're not, where we go when we go up, we're not leaving anybody behind. It's like, some people aren't going to ride with us. We're going to take the carpool lane, but it's like, look, you need to get your shit and let's go. Because it's like, you need to fix your shit and get your mind right, and we'll help one another. And that's the thing. They think that we're just going to be like, laugh at them. It's like, that just created another level of division. It's all it did. Why? It's like, what if we were in those shoes and we actually were heavily indoctrinated? Do you think that we just woke up out of nothing? It's like, hell no. We had so much divine intervention on our half to actually say, hey, you guys said you guys are going to do this shit. Get to it now. Yeah. It's like, now you see everybody just like how everything happens. Like, how in the hell did this happen? It's like, well, gosh. Funny thing is, go to work. It's like, come home. It's like, next thing you know, it's like you're quitting your job and you're killing a bunch of trees with a bunch of paper. It's like, but the thing is, like, you don't know what the end is because you're in the movie. You're playing the part all throughout the movie. You don't know the script. You don't know the next act. You don't know anything. It's like, that's the biggest surprise at the end. It's like, boom. Once we get to the end, we're back. Holy shit. It's like, and when they take back the veil, we're gonna be like, see, there were fucking lizards, guys. I mean, that's it. But the thing is, it's like, there's gonna be peaceful ones, and there's going to be those asshole draconians ones. Because alpha draconians, they talk about draconian laws all the time. It's like, where do you think they got that term from, guys? They just didn't pull it out of a thesaurus. It's like, guys, we, in this whole enemy, it's like, guys, we were all created at the same time because we're all created under the same energy. That's it. You cannot kill energy. This whole Adam and Eve and, this bloodline, it's like, it's all bullshit. Because the thing is, like, if that's the case, then that means that every one of us are a product of incest through Adam and Eve. So is that right? No, I don't think so. Hell no. So now what? Right. It's like, that's a religious story. That's a story. Is that the truth? It's a story that religion, because why do you think they get everything tax-free? They get everything tax-free because they have to penetrate your mind. Mm-hmm. That's why L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology, that's why they stripped him of that. And that's why the Operation Snow White, when they infiltrated the government, that's why, I don't care what anybody says, I will die on the sword that L. Ron Hubbard is behind a lot of this. Because even his son's name was Quentin. He was found murdered on October 28th, 1976. It's like a bicentennial of the United States, October 28th, first Q drop. His first name was Quentin, a Q. Come on. I mean, there's so much stuff with him. And he loved children, everything. He screw killed children, but he was one of the Navy's best spies. He spied on the Nazis. He spied on everybody like NASA, because he was one of the founders of NASA with Walt Disney, Werner von Braun,
Right.
Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, and Jack Parsons Whiteside. Those are the 5 that made up NASA.
Oh, go figure.
But the thing is, the only one they actually knew, because he learned how to audit in his mind, how to revert in his past lives. So he taught other people how to do it. What that did is that they made you immune to MK Ultra.
Right.
Mind. That's why they wanted him dead.
Yeah. We've all kind of been, we've been hijacked, all of us. That's why it's just unlearning. It is. Jason, I did say at the start we were going to go for about an hour.
Yeah, 2 hours. I mean, that's the thing. It's like you get 2 hours. Like, yeah, it's like.
Well, look, we'll do this again as well. I do like our kind of duo as well. Love you and Nick together. I think you two vibe on such a great energy. But I can't do those 12-hour podcasts. I mean, that was a. You remember? And I just left my computer on the whole night. You were on my YouTube.
Yeah, we did that one for
I kept it open.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. And then I was just like, that was awesome. But look, see, and your energy with everybody, we all have our individual kind of energy and where we sort of like connect and click, and people will a lot of this stuff today, sometimes, the heavy duty stuff, the depths of how far you go will offer, you connect with everyone so specially in your own way, and you have that relationship with every single person that you speak to, which is just so refreshing. And I've watched you, how you are with so many different people, and everybody will get something out of a Jason Q show. And today,
of course, because the thing is like not only secretary but as a server, we fill everybody's glass. That's what we do. Yeah. It's like when we're down, it's like, what do we need? We need to talk to family. It's like, hey, get somebody on the horn. It's like, let's have a show. Yeah. And then just put on, it's like
spontaneous.
Well, because I mean, there are people at home that need this too. It's like, man, I mean, how many texts do you get a day? It's like, you have a live today? Are you doing a live today? It's like all the time. It's like, guys, it's like, yeah, because they need it too. They need that too. They need, it's like encouragement that it's like, hey, we're going to be okay. We're going to be better than okay. It's like, if you see me running and flipping out and lose my shit, then I worry. But it's like, no, we're not doing any of that. We haven't done it yet. We won't do it. Because it's like, that would be really, really dumb of us. Because it's like, we did this, how we're supposed to do it. They want us to archive everything offline. Did that. But we needed to get out there and spread the knowledge with the masses, because when you give people knowledge, they give you knowledge back. It's like, that's how we learn.
Right. Yeah.
And then we sit here and then we have healthy discussions, healthy debates. And because there's the conversations where both of us are wrong, both of us are right. You never know. It's like, but you don't learn anything from always being right. I've been more wrong than I've been right, but it's like, that's how you learn.
That is actually one of the most valuable things today, everyone. And I think that a beautiful place to end it. You don't always learn something from being right, because guess what that is? It's about the ego tripping, going back into, like, even if you have an argument with a friend or your parents or your partner or your lover or whatever, and our egos can get the better of us. Healthy ego, people be like, yeah, okay, fine, I'm right, you're wrong. And we get into these petty squabbles. But really, what I'm learning, I'm quite hot-headed, and I'm learning, especially in recent months, is just to say, right, let's recenter, go back to love. Mm-hmm. Love truly is the highest vibration, or what I say, the highest currency. And and when we afford that to our brothers and sisters, to our people around us, to the people who we speak to every single day, that okay, we're uncomfortable about X, Y, Z. Let's not argue. Let's come back into that heart-centered space. So,
because what essentially has happened, we have been infiltrated in our relationship to actually cause a division. It's like, we need to say, wait a second, nope, fuck it, we know exactly who that is. It's like, go away, we got this. It's like, and then they'll go away for good. It's like, and that's what they have to divide us somehow.
Exactly. And so on that note,
yep.
Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. You too. And
this and
tell Nick that I love him. I love you too. And everybody out there to be watching this, I love all of you, and can't wait to come to England and Europe and
We can't
Woo!
have you, and I can't wait to meet you. So
Oh,
maybe it's a
be
bit.
ready for hugs. I give everybody hugs or dry humps, and everybody's giving hugs, so it's good.
I can't wait. All right, darling. Well, look, till the next time.
You bet.
Hey everyone, so I've just finished the show with Jason, and I really wanted to do just a few minutes solo, really interweaving some of the things that we were speaking about on the show, which you'll find out later, depending on how I edit this, but I suspect I'll put it up right at the front. We talked about energies, the full moon, Mercury retrograde, and all these things that we as a collective are feeling. Energy is always there, and we're depending on how sensitive we are to it. But I have come across some really interesting information, and one of the things that Mark and I speak about quite a lot off the record is about like this spiritual warfare that's going on, especially to the collective as a whole, interpersonal relationships, and on so many different layers of what we're experiencing. Myself, my very good friend Mitra sent me this long passage about what's called anti-heterogamous attacks. Heterogamic being a Greek word about union, divine union. So this anti-heterogamic attacks about really infiltrating and hijacking and attacking divine unions and relationships of all sorts. And I wanted to share that with you. So I'm going to read it out, and I hope you find this helpful. I've got it on my socials as well, but I'm experiencing some of this as well. And now that I actually can see what's happening at this sort of different dimensions, where you become an observer and not a victim to things and circumstances that happen that could impact you negatively. So without further ado, because I do have a tendency to waffle, here we go. So it says God's divine plan and architecture includes divine unions in harmony, right? We're supposed to be in harmonious relationships, restoring the sacred family unit template, and through the power of pure love, as well as the unique mission anchoring back to heaven and earth. What did Jason and I say in this? That the psychological warfare that's happened to the family unit, it's been so fractured. It's been so fractured in so many different layers that, God, it's crazy. And through our own experience of divine union and doing multidimensional healing work includes timeline repair and soul retrieval. We are continuously receiving deeper insights and understanding into the truth of how heavily divine union partnerships, genetic equals, have been targeted through dark forces to split up thousands of years ago back into ancient timelines of Lemera and Atlantis. To this day, they still are being heavily targeted through some of the most sophisticated and dark anti-heterogamic weaponry to prevent their union. I know about this so much. This is insane. Like, seriously, some of the things I have experienced in my lifetime, this put so much into perspective for me. We're continuously understanding how deep and multifaceted the monodaic splits and anti-heterogamic reversals run that need to be repaired in the soul matrix in order to unite with the true counterpart and come back into harmonious divine union and heterogamic marriage. It's a spiritual marriage between us and our partners, not how the cabal have led us to believe. And these dark anti-life forces operate invisibly in shadows and don't want us to know they even exist. So this is the archonic parasitic cords that can be attached to us. It's so intelligent in the most perverse way how this works. It's the unseen. It's what we don't understand or we can't see, therefore we cannot necessarily align to it and be conscious of it. So when we go into 3D egoic battles with our brothers and sisters or with our partners, we forget that this spiritual war is really homing in to that grassroots to keep us constantly distracted in these crazy ways and not being in that powerful union, one with self and then with our partner. This is the story of Shiv Shakti, which I'll speak about one day on my shows, and how this union, this twin flame union, was there to help humanity and the collective. So we don't even know that they exist, so they can parasitically keep feeding off our life force by causing separation and suffering in humanity. The uncomfortable truth is that those of us that are on the path of embodying herogamic union or sacred marriage have been under extremely aggressive black magic attacks and mind control harassment, especially over the last 3 years. It has been intense. Tell me about it. Divine unions, genetic equals that came to earth to fulfill the Christos mission of sacred marriage, herogamic union, are known to be directly targeted by anti-HD technology in order to prevent their unification. And or if they were able to unite, manipulate or destroy the relationship and derail the collaborative mission. The highly sophisticated, and don't I know about this, honestly, folks, my heart just starts going like this when I read this every single time. Mitra, thank you for sending me this. It just makes so much sense to me, and I do hope that this helps you. The highly sophisticated anti-herogamic weaponry includes black magic through satanic blood sacrifice, pulsated through ley lines, and directed at divine unions, inverted ultraviolet rays through the Saturn moon matrix, lunar matrix, activating Lilith, Azazel reversals, victimizer programming, as well as Luciferian overlays of illusion, deception, temptation, and confusion. Additionally, there is AI harassment. So this is all the mind control. Mark and I speak about how they've infiltrated us through our thoughts. And that's how sophisticated the AI technology has become. We don't realize how deep this goes. I didn't at all. And this is through alien technology with inorganic frequencies holding inadvertent anti-life coding of fallen parasitic architecture, such as the Fibonacci sequence. Extra-dimensional entities that have artificially generated inorganic Fibonacci spirals created through alien machinery and AI technology, which hold the parasitic entropic finite architecture of death, anti-life that needs consumption for survival in order to hijack, siphon, and steal energy from the planetary body, humanity, and target divine union couples. This is how the Metatronic reversal fields were created on our planet, as well as the artificial tree of life, which interrupts the ability to self-source and ascend, leading to fallen consciousness. Please be careful with what new age artwork you allow into your home and have tattooed on you. Many images of sacred I always get this, I always fumble. Geometry are not sacred at all and open dark portals for the dark to get in. The dark can get in so many ways. And if we're not centered and balanced and have our auric field fractured or there's tears, it's invites for the dark to really infiltrate us, our mind, our thoughts, our body. It's so manipulative and it's, again, crazy. All of this anti-herogamic technology aims to disconnect us from God, source, and cunningly targets our weakest spots and most painful trauma in our subconscious, physical, and energy body to collapse us into pain body, feeling stuck, looping in that devastation, hopelessness, and despair to give up. Hello? Yeah. To give up on our true soul that desires mission and unification with the true beloved. Create hate, distrust between the masculine and feminine polarity, or through immense suffering and bitterness, get us invert our hearts, our inner feminine and masculine principles and our true organic essence into reversals to create separation within, between us, and lock us into a state of enslavement, lack, torment, and separation from God, the true divine partners, genetic equals to harvest our life force. They have and will continue to target those around you as they're trying to stop what is happening. You may see the dark using family members, friends, and loved ones to target you in the physical and try and bring you down. My friends, this last 6 months acutely for me, friendships, even new ones that I've made through just a real weak foundation or what I assumed was built on this great energy can be that fickle and just demise and derail just because of a simple misunderstanding. And I'm seeing it happen to a lot of my brothers and sisters, and friendships just get dissolved within an instant, without us really looking at that person and their soul. And we go into that egoic, crazy center of just right, wrong, division. Hey, guess what? It's still in our programming. Does that make sense? So yeah, and to target you in the physical and try to bring you down, acting completely out of character, their face, eyes may even appear to change. Please keep all loved ones in your prayers during these times. Clear the energy and not just your own. Ask your higher self to be included. This parasitic anti-life beast system consciousness harvesting matrix is so cunning. It can target us, especially whenever we have opening through a collapsed devotional template, through a spiritual sniper, false twin flame, mimicking our true beloved, only to hook us into a fallen timeline of struggle and torment designed to shatter our hearts and prevent us from uniting with the true beloved and fulfilling our mission. Sorry about that. So where was I? I had to pause it. So somebody came downstairs. So the parasitic anti-life beast system consciousness harvesting matrix is so cunning. It can target, yeah, I've read all of that. Yeah, torment, twin flame beloved, only to hook us in fallen timeline of struggle and torment designed to shatter our heart and prevent us from uniting with the true beloved and fulfilling our mission. These forces are absolutely terrified of the true divine partners coming back together. It is literally their downfall, because once the true genetic equals unite back into true, pure, eternal love and harmony, they will neutralize. I say that a lot, folks. They will neutralize and dissolve all the black magic grids. I've looked into this subject about ley lines and grid work. It goes over my head, but I kind of intuitively get it. Does that make sense? And alien weaponry used against humanity and the dark forces and their evil agendas won't stand a chance. There is nothing stronger than the force of true love, divine love. It will literally dissolve the dark forces. Our soul united together with God always reigns supreme. This is why they are so desperate to use every possible method to attack, target, split, divide, and derail the divine union. Our connection to God allows us to turn even into a blessing. With every attack, we can determine our weak spots and seal up our devotion to God and each other, stronger and purer than before, and repair any anti-herogamic reversals within through trauma at the core and heal deeper layers of the monadic split, anchoring in deeper levels of joy and harmony. The more we are clear and the more we clear out what is inorganic and the more we anchor back our true soul essence, strengthening our aura, soul essence, strengthening our aura, intelligent, living in that light shield, repelling harmful interferences, making our field magnetic to our true soul desires. In anchoring in this cosmic, eternal living and light into ourselves, we are restoring the tri-wave unity consciousness in our cellular memory, activating the eternal supply of God source and continuously repairing metatronic reversal and monadic splits, both through the restoration of our organic crystalline diamond sun body, as well as the restoration of the planetary grids, not gigs. So I hope you enjoy the show with Jason today. And I hope you found this useful. If you're in a twin flame union, if you're in a divine relationship, whatever's going on for you, these, I always say energies intense, intense, intense. I just feel that we are coming out the other end. We have a lot of access to information. Love truly is the answer, folks. Love really is. To really understand the good, bad, and ugly within ourselves and be honest with ourselves to face our deepest wounds and fears. And this is what these relationships will teach you. The best relationship is the relationship that we have with ourselves. Because if our world inside is full of despair, worry, fear, anxiety, and we're all guilty of it. Come on. We didn't get the manual of how to live the perfect spiritual life, to be consciously aware. We get bombarded with so much. We put pressure on ourselves for so much. And it is my wish and sending you all so much love, blessings, that recenter always back to love. This is me, Alpa Soni, signing out. It's been a really, really enjoyable show with Jason. I feel like I'm kind of stepping back into my own again. I've been hiding. I go through these phases. Everyone that's supporting me, thank you so much, that have in this journey. A lot of people have messaged me and asked me on Facebook, my new Facebook, where are you? You've gone AWOL. Please have a look at our autism product. If you know anyone, a family member, or anyone that could benefit from this, this is something that I have really put my heart and soul into it, especially like I said in the show that Nick and I both say this actually, that we think we sit mildly on the spectrum, especially ADHD in my case. And it wears you down because your brain operates at different frequencies, and it's just so many things make sense. So the divine plan is always orchestrated in the most magnificent way. And Jason Q says, there's no such thing as a coincidence. It is mathematically impossible. Please share, like, don't this video with your friends and people that you think could benefit from hearing this. And yes, thank you for your continued support. And don't forget, if you want to red pill your grandma, send them over to www.goodlion.tv. Loads of great stuff going on there. So many things to watch. I haven't even watched everything. Nick gets mad at me, but it's like there's so much there that people, have at their fingertips. And he's done amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. So very proud of what Nick has done with waking up through his voice, through clever questioning and questioning the global rhetoric and in his way. So enough of my waffle. Thank you very, very much, everyone. Thank you so much from my heart and soul for listening to this far. If you have, love, lots of love.